Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stora Sessions. My name is Jennifer, and I'm one of the customer success managers here at Stora. So the aim of the call today is to provide practical tips to use Stora more effectively and hopefully run your facility like a storage pro. On the agenda, we'll be covering the basics. So these will be basic settings that we recommend adding to your Stora account. And then we'll also be discussing how to go beyond the basics and add or use more features and use Stora to go the extra mile. At the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A session. I know that you've already added a couple of questions in the comment section. So if you do have any questions, feel free to add that to the comment section, and then I will go through them at the end of the call. So first, we'll cover the basics. So first and foremost, we highly recommend personalizing your storefront. So to personalize your storefront, we recommend adding images. So usually high quality images of your site or your unit types. Also ensure that all fonts on your storefront are consistent, just for brand consistency. We also suggest that you request a theme if you haven't done so already. So again, this would be to promote your brand and ensure that your storefront or your booking page meets or is similar to your brand colors. And lastly, we also recommend that you ensure all details on your site or on your storefront are correct. So your customer support contact details, your site details, pricing, things like that. Just make sure that they're all up to date and correct on your storefront. We also suggest linking a payment card. So this will be to automate yours, or customers can automate their subscriptions. And there are 4 ways that you can link a payment card. You can either do this manually by adding the card details to the Stora back office. So this will be applicable if customers were to call you with their card details and you wanted to add it to their customer account. You can also send the customer a payment card request email when you're creating the subscription. If you don't get the chance to do that, you do have the option to send the card request email after the subscription has been created by clicking any one of these links on this banner. And finally, you can link a payment card. Well, the customer can link a payment card by paying their invoices by card. So once they do that, then it will become a recurring card payment. You can also add bespoke prices, which can be applicable to both your unit type and also protection as well. So if there is a price that's been agreed with yourself and the customer that is different to the default price that is on your storefront, you can add bespoke prices on your back office. And I'll go through this and demo how to do this later on toward the end of the call. We also recommend having an integrated contract. So this is your digital contract that will be available through Stora. And some of the benefits that come with the integrated contract are they look more professional. You can manage the contracts as well. So you can view the signed contracts, download signed contracts as well as resend and void pending contracts. You can also include pre-filled fields to your contract. So this information will be taken from the customer's Stora account as well as their subscription. So things like their move-in date, the customer's email address, phone number, and all their contact details, as long as that's up to date on Stora, that will be taken, the data will be taken from the Stora account and added to their integrated contracts. The benefit of this is that it makes it easier for customers to sign their contracts so they don't have to manually go in and add these details themselves. We also recommend you add or edit your email templates. Some of the reasons is for brand consistency. You also have full editorial control over the tone and wording. So if there's anything in the email templates that you want to change in terms of the wording, you can go in and update this yourselves. You also have the option to draft these new email templates, publish it, or if you're not happy with it, you can always revert it back to the default email template as well. We also recommend you make use of the timeline feature that we've recently introduced. Timelines are a really good way to have or see a simple chronological view of key activities for your customers, their bookings, as well as units all in one place. So for contacts, you can see their full customer journey. For subscriptions, you can track every change that's been made to the booking. And then for units, you can see a detailed activity history for each unit. Again, I'll be going through this and what this looks like in your Stora back office just towards the end of the call. So these are ways that you can go the extra mile and further utilize Stora to facilitate your growth and also to run your facility better as well. So it's helpful to make use of features. These are usually features that are underused, which I've highlighted here. And although Stora has quite a good amount of great features, it's hard to use them all. So these are just some of the features that I'd recommend using that are underused but highly impactful. One of them is the dynamic occupancy pricing feature. And what this does is it allows you to set storefront prices for unit types based on how either popular they are or not popular. So you can set certain rules. Say, for example, if you had a 50 square foot container that is doing particularly well and is at 70% occupancy, you can set a rule to either increase the price or decrease the price by a certain percentage. This is just helpful for revenue boosting purposes. You can also add tasks. So this is usually helpful for teams. So if you wanted to assign this particular task to a member of your team, you can set the task, assign it, and then also set a due date and additional notes as well. The deals feature is another feature that we find to be highly impactful and not always the most used, but it's very beneficial. So you can set different deal pipelines and then move prospects across the different pipelines as well. This is one of the features that I'll be demoing shortly. So if you do have any questions on this, feel free to leave it in the comment section as well. We also recommend making use of a trial plan. So if you are in a lower tiered plan and want to see the features that are available in higher tiered plans without fully committing to the higher tiered plans, we highly recommend that you take out a trial plan for that plan. This is a good way to see the features that are available on the higher tiered plan and then seeing if that's something that you're interested in. If you want to upgrade, you can, but if you just want to take out the trial plan, then you have that option to do so as well. This is something we'd recommend speaking to your customer success manager about, just so that we can ask what features you're looking for and get more information from you on what you're looking for in the higher tiered plans as well. Give it a try. There's no commitment. It's just more power at your fingertips, and it's always beneficial to see what features are available to you. The next thing we recommend doing is sharing your opinions. So we're always working to make Stora better, and we want your input. So this is why we recommend that you head into our roadmap and submit feature requests. So I've noticed in the comments that you've had a couple of questions about features in general, but if there are any features that you want to see on Stora, then we recommend going to the roadmap, which I'll show you how to do, and submitting a feature request there. You can also vote on already submitted feature requests and keep an eye out on what we have coming down the line. Lastly, we usually recommend that you reach out to us. So speak to us, let us know what you think. If you need help, speak to our chat support team or visit our help center. You can also join our webinars for tips and guidance. We'll have a couple of webinars dedicated to Stora sessions. So if there is a particular topic that you want to discuss on another webinar, feel free to add that to the comment section as well, and we'll consider it as the next Stora sessions topic. And if you don't have us on social media, we recommend you follow us on LinkedIn for updates and support questions as well. And finally, we also recommend you keep an eye out on our website just to see what we have coming up. We have quite a lot of exciting things coming your way. So before we head into the Q&A section, I'll now share my screen and go through the different features that I had mentioned in the slides, and just show you how they all work in practice. So firstly, to add bespoke prices. To do this, I would head into the subscription tab here. I would select the relevant subscription. And then to add a bespoke price, I would click Edit Unit Types here. So this is adding a bespoke price for the unit types. Click this button here and change the price. So in this case, I'm changing from £120 to £100. Create price continue. This is where you can review it and set when you want the price change to apply. So either immediately on the next renewal date, or you can backdate it as well. Once you've done that, you can preview the invoice and then apply the changes as well. So that's for your unit type, to add a custom price to your unit type. And to add a custom price for the insurance, you would essentially do the same thing. So click Add Custom Price, change the pricing here to either more or less, create a price and continue, select the price change date, preview the invoice, and then save the changes as well. The next thing I'll go through is timelines. So as I mentioned, you can see timelines for subscriptions, for the customer, and also for the units as well. So while I'm on this subscription page, I'll scroll down to the very bottom. And as you can see here, these are all the key events that have happened for this subscription. So you can see when contracts have been issued, you can see emails that have been sent as well, and you can also see when payments have been successfully collected. To see the timeline for a customer, you would just go into the customer page either through here if you're already in the subscription, or by going to the CRM as well and seeing your contacts. So for Laura, I'll scroll down to the very bottom, and these are all the key timelines or key events that have happened for this specific customer. Within the timelines, you can also add notes. And with these notes, you can edit them. So when they haven't been edited, you will see that there's no edited tab or badge. But once you do edit it, let me share my screen, then the edited badge will appear here. So that's how you know whether the note has been edited. And then finally, if you want to see the timeline of a unit, so the unit activity, you would head into the units or any one of your units, click onto the unit, and then you can see the timeline of this unit as well. So you can see when it was auto-reserved, deallocated, or assigned to a subscription. Finally, I'll also go through, well, not finally, I'll also go through the dynamic pricing feature. So again, this is within your site settings. So you would go into sites, select the applicable site, edit the site, go into the pricing section, apologies, you go into the unit type. So head into sites, select the site that it's applicable to, go into unit types, edit unit type, scroll down to the dynamic occupancy pricing feature. So this would be one of the features that would be only available on the higher tiered plans. And like I was saying, with this feature, you can set rules that will be applicable to this unit type. This will be different to the default price that's been applied to the unit type on your storefront. But say, for example, if occupancy is greater than or equal to a certain percentage, then you can increase or decrease the price by a certain percentage. So say if you have a unit type that's particularly popular and has occupancy of 90%, you have the option to increase the pricing by up to 20% or whatever percentage you wish to apply. You can add multiple rules as well if you wish to do so. I'll also show you the tasks feature. So again, this feature is really helpful, especially if you have a team working at your site. You'd go into the tasks tab here. Then you would click new task, describe the task. So say, for example, if you wanted to reach out to a certain customer, assign it to a member of your team, so someone who has access to the Stora account, set the date that the task is due on, and then apply the site that the task is for. And if you want to add extra details, you can do so too. And then you create the task. Finally, I will show you how the deals pipeline works. So this has already been created, but if you wanted to add additional deal stages, then you can do that here. So as you can see here, it's been split all into these different stages, but you can set these stages yourself if you wish to do so. You would click edit stages here and either rename or delete stages that have already been created. And to add an additional stage, you'd click this button here, name the stage, add it. So now that's been added as a stage in the pipeline. You can move customers or prospects around to different stages. So that's how the deal pipeline works. I'll also show you our product roadmap. So as I mentioned previously, if you do have any feature requests that you do want to make, we'd usually recommend that you go through our Stora roadmap and submit any feature requests here. To do that, you would go to stora.co/roadmap, submit an idea, give us a summary of what you'd like to see, how critical or important it is to you, and then leave the email address so that our product team can get in touch with more details or with an update as well. For feature requests that have already been added, you can vote on how important they are to you. So say, for example, add products during checkout. This is a feature request that has already been added and in consideration. What you can do is you can vote how important this is for your business, give us more details, leave your email address as well, and then our product team will reach out with updates. And also if they have more questions for you to get an idea of what you're looking for with this feature, then they'll reach out as well. So now I will go back to the slides and we will have the Q&A session. So I'll go through some of the questions that have already been submitted. Bear with me, there's quite a few. So I can see that Stephen's left a message about releasing late feeds. This is something that our product team are working on. In terms of an ETA, I wouldn't be able to provide that just yet. But once there is an update, you would be notified. But yes, this is something that our product team are working on. But as I'm in the customer success team, I wouldn't be able to give a particular ETA. If a colleague of mine is unable to watch, let me show this. If a colleague of mine is unable to watch this live, will there be a recorded version available to watch at a later date? Yes, there will. This live is being recorded and will be made available to you after the call. Maya said, hi, will there be an option where you can have more than one email to send invoices to? Do you mean with the subscriptions? Just if that is what you mean about sending an invoice to multiple emails within a subscription, you can't. You can only send the invoice to the email that's been attached to that subscription. Hopefully that answers your question, but if it doesn't, feel free to let me know. Hi, can we post a credit to a customer's account? Yes, you can issue a credit note to a customer's account. So if you want to refund them or apply it to another invoice or incoming invoice, you can do that. You would have to do that through Stripe, however. You wouldn't be able to do that through Stora. Just looking now. Is the map going to become more user-friendly? Yes, so Stora is always trying to make the software as user-friendly as possible. So if you want any particular features to be included in the map to make it more user-friendly, I would recommend reaching out to our product team by heading into our product roadmap and submitting a feature request there. Can the contract pre-fill the price? Yes. So the contract, the pre-filled fields that can be added to your contract include subscription details. So the move-in date for the customer, the storage price, the insurance price, the total price as well. So the insurance as well as the storage price. And then contact details as well. So customer details such as their contact details, email, name, things like that, that can all be pre-filled in the contract. Are we going to be able to make part payments? So this isn't something that's currently available on Stora. But again, if this is a feature that you're interested in seeing, then I'd recommend submitting a feature request. Can a deposit not be deducted from the first invoice? Can a deposit not be deducted from the first invoice? I'm not sure what you mean here. So deposits would be treated differently to the first invoice. When customers move in, and if they are paying a deposit, usually they'd be paying the deposit and the first invoice at the same time. I'm not sure yet. Sorry, Sarah, if you could just clarify what you mean, then I can try and help better. Are you in a cloud-based, oh, sorry. Is it possible to vacate a customer before their 4-week payment is up and refund them back to the day they move out? Yes, that is possible. So you can refund customers to the day they move out. You can decide how much you want to issue, how much of a refund you want to issue to customers when you're issuing the credit note on Stripe. We don't have a customer success manager. Can you let us know who ours is, please? Yeah, you can reach out to me. I will point you in the right direction. So I will leave my email address and pin it to the comments. So if you don't have a customer success manager, then feel free to reach out to me and I can help you with that. Just looking back at all the questions. Yeah, there are quite a few. So Granta said, it would be great to be able to refund customers directly to their bank cards based a prorate days due, i.e. if a customer moves out at the start of the month and if they have paid for the full month. Okay, to able to refund customers directly through their bank cards based on a prorate days due if a customer moves out at the start of the month and have paid for the full amount. So when you're refunding customers, you can set how much you want to refund them for. The prorated refund isn't something that can be automatically done through Stripe or Stora, but when you're issuing the credit notes, you can set the prorated amount and issue that to them. In analytics, how does deposit get updated? I'm not sure, but I can ask the product team. Do you mean the technicalities with getting the deposit analytics updated? If so, yes, I would need to check with our product team just to double check, and I can let you know, Carol. Grant has said it would be good to get an overview of how much revenue is expected in the month based on current occupancy/discounts, etc. As more customers join, the revenue expected automatically adjusted. Currently, I don't see a place where I can see quickly expected revenue. Yes, this is a feature that has been raised before. And again, this is something that our product team will have to work on. We'd recommend, if you haven't already, to add this as a feature request. And just so, I'm not sure if I was able to share my screen previously, but just to show you our roadmap. So these are all the features that we have coming up, as you can see here. If there's a feature that you want to see in particular, then you can submit the idea here and rank it how important it is to you. Then leave your email address so that our product team can reach out to you for more details. And if you see a feature here that you also would like to see and want to vote on, you can click the feature, add more details, add your email address, and submit it to the product team. But in terms of projected revenue, this isn't a feature we have at the moment, but if you submit it as a feature request, then you'll leave it in the pipeline or in the, our product team will be made aware. Vincent has asked, is it possible to reserve a unit for a customer for a future date without creating a subscription? So at the moment, you would need to create a subscription to reserve a unit for a customer. But if you wanted to make the unit unavailable for anyone else to move in, then you can mark the unit unavailable in your back office. To do this, let me share my screen and show you. So to mark a unit as unavailable, you can also do this if you wanted to, say, leave the unit unavailable for cleaning or anything else. Go into the unit that you want to, reserve for that customer. Click these three buttons here. It's because this unit's been allocated. So you'd go to an available unit, click these three buttons, and then make the unit all available. So then it wouldn't appear and it wouldn't be reserved for another customer. Hopefully that helps and answers your question. If not, let me know and I'm happy to help. Can you run through a contract setup again, please? Yes, of course. So I'll share my screen again. And contracts would be managed from the contract tab under subscriptions. So if you click subscriptions and go into contracts, this is where you'd be able to see all of the contracts that have been sent to customers, and you can see the status of the contract as well. So those have been signed, and also contracts that have been pending. Contracts that are pending, you can view them or void the contract. Contracts that have been signed, you can download and also view the contract as well. If you don't already have a contract set up, what we ask is that you send us a finalized copy of your contract in PDF or Word format. Then we can get this integrated for you so that you can manage it through Stora. With the contracts as well, you can go into your settings, go into contract templates, and you can configure your contract templates as well. So you can assign different contracts to different sites or unit types as well. So if you click into template configuration, and for each unit type, you can set a contract. So for this unit type, for example, I'll set this contract. In this site, for this unit type, I can set a different contract. So then that way, customers, depending on the unit type that they have, would be signing different contracts. Hopefully that is a good overview of the contract feature. Again, once you send us a copy of your contract and we get this integrated for you, you'd be able to manage it better in the contract tab here. With the deals, would it be possible to add a date for the next stage? This would then show on the homepage for what a deal needs to be followed up that day. That's a good question. I don't think there's let me have a look. I don't think you can add a date for a specific stage or deal. Let me just double check. So no, you can't add a specific date to a deal for the different stages at least. But if you wanted, again, if this is something that you do want to see introduced to Stora, we'd recommend submitting a feature request in our roadmap. Morgan asked, hi, some of our customers pay 6 months, 12 monthly for a caravan storage. We can only have it as a monthly option when advertised. Is there a way to change prices to yearly whilst leaving the storage units on a monthly basis? It becomes very confusing for new customers that see caravans advertised monthly. So I think, if I'm understanding your question correctly, you want to add additional billing periods for your caravan storage. The option when advertised, is there a way to, yeah. So if you wanted to add additional billing periods to your site, I'll share my screen again to show you how to do this. You'd head into your site settings. So click into the site that you want to make changes to, and then go into your pricing section. And this is where you can set the billing period for the site. So currently this site is set to a monthly billing period, but if you wanted to add other billing periods that will appear in this drop-down menu, you would click this tab here. I'll open this in a new tab. And I'll just show you what this looks like again. So now that you have that other tab opened up, this is where you can set additional billing periods. So if you wanted to charge customers 6 monthly or yearly, you can do this. But for customers when you set additional billing periods, just make sure that you're adding the yearly price or the 6 monthly price within your site settings as well. So say if I go into my site and go into unit types, edit unit type, and go to pricing. Because you've added additional billing periods, you'd also need to set the prices for those additional billing periods as well. So the customers who want to make a booking, if they wanted to add or take out 4 weekly billing periods, they could. Hopefully that answers your question. You can only have it as monthly option advertise. Yeah, so that's how you can advertise other billing periods if that's something you want to do. Payment on account, not credit in the sense of the word. Putting credit on. We tried to do it through Stripe and we did not have the option. This is something only a manager could do. And I'm not sure I understand your question. So you're trying to add credit to an account that's already been paid. Is that right? You can add another email. I'm trying to see, is it possible to reserve a unit for the customer without creating? And if you reach out to our support team, they'd be able to help you with that. I'm not sure why that's not appearing on Stripe. But yeah, if you reach out to our support team I'll show you how you can, either through your back office or by going on our website and clicking the chat bot in our website and explain what you're trying to do. Our chat support team will be able to assist further. I think that's most of the questions. If I haven't answered your question, feel free to re-ask it, and I might have just missed it. You're welcome, Anne. Okay, if there are no other questions, I'll go into the last slide. So we have our Stora Summit coming up soon. The focus is how storage operators of tomorrow are winning today. So this will be hosted by our co-founder and CEO, Gavin, and we'll also be joined by Jamie Heaslip, who is growth lead at Stripe and also a former Ireland rugby captain. The summit is going to take place on the 30th of September between 11:30 and 2. And if you're interested in signing up to join the summit, then just head into our website. I'll show you now. And then you'll see a banner at the top where you can sign up. So go into our website here. So again, if you wanted to reach out to Stora support, you can do that by clicking the chatbot on our website. And then if you want to sign up to the summit, you should see a banner at the top of the screen. For some reason, it's not showing up. Yeah, here we go. So if you go into our Stora website, then you should see the banner here for Stora Summit, and then you can save your spot and learn more details about why you should attend, what you can expect at the summit as well, and who's speaking. So these are 2 guest speakers. Is there any way? Sarah, so there isn't a way to move all of your previously signed contracts into Stora, unfortunately. That's something that we'd recommend you download and keep as a record on separately to Stora, because no, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to move that to Stora. Regarding funding a customer pro rata payment discussion above, the same applies to refunding a deposit. So when refunding a deposit, you have the option to refund the full amount, or you can refund them a partial amount, or withhold the deposit altogether. So if you want to issue a pro rata refund, you can do that through Stora, but that would be a little bit different to refunding or automatically refunding subscription refunds, just because that would be manual, whereas the deposit, you can do that automatically, or not automatically, but that would be issued or calculated through Stora. Let me have a look at the question. Is there any way we can set out an out of store date to the date you are on? For example, if someone moved out today, currently it only lets me to set their out of store date. Is this the date that they move out? When you say out of store date, I'm not sure what you mean. The deposit being credited against first invoice. Basically, I take a booking today to move in 2 weeks. I take a reservation fee deposit, then that comes off the first invoice on moving day. Right. Okay. In that case, there's no way to do this through Stora, but you can have, I'm sure there's a workaround for that. Off the top of my head, what I can think you could do is you could issue a invoice for that customer and then refund them when their subscription actually starts. But to take the amount from the first invoice, that's not something that Stora is built to do, as far as I'm aware. But if you get in touch with me or our chat support team, then we can discuss how you can work around this if this is something that's imperative to your business and that you do often as well. Create a one-off invoice for first month and then delay start a recurring monthly fee. When will it be possible for customers to select different rental contracts, like 1 or 6 months during the booking right at the storefront? Then, so with that, that would be a case of adding additional billing periods for your storefront. And in case you missed that, I'll show you how you can do that. So again, I'm going into my sites, and then you'd go into one of your sites, edit the site, and then go into pricing. And then you can add additional billing periods by clicking this link here. Once you've created the additional billing periods, you can select it from the drop-down menu here. The only thing is you wouldn't be able to add multiple billing periods for your site. You can only add one. But if you did want to add something alternative to monthly, you can do that. It would also be great to leave some suggestions on what you'd want to see for the next Stora Sessions webinar. We're going to plan that maybe in a couple months' time or maybe next month. So if you do have any topics that you want to discuss, feel free to leave that in the comment section as well, and then we'll keep that in mind for the next webinar. Well, if there are no further questions, I think I might bring this to an end. Again, this will be recorded, so you will have a copy of the recorded webinar if you want to revert back to it. But if you don't have any other questions, then I'll end the stream and you can reach out to either myself, so my email address is there, or you can reach out to our product team by submitting a feature request. Or if you have any specific questions, then you can reach out to our chat support team or visit our help center. Is it possible to see a contract before it is sent? Yes, so you can see your contract template on Stora. Let me share your screen. Right, so if you want to view your contract templates, you'd go into settings and then you'll see your contract template here. So these are all the contracts that this operator has, and you can configure it to different unit types as well. To see what the actual contract itself looks like, you can ask your customer success manager to show you. They can show you a screenshot on the contract management software that we use called PandaDoc. But yes, you would only be able to see signed contracts by going into subscriptions here and clicking contracts. But yeah, as I said, if you want to see what your contract looks like before it's sent, just to, confirm the pre-filled fields that have been added or anything else, then just ask your customer success manager to show you. Not the template, the customers want to make sure all details are correct for the customer. Yeah, of course. So as I said, you can ask your customer success manager to show you what the template looks like. But if you want to see what a customer's contract looks like, just to make sure everything was all fine before they'd signed, you can go into subscriptions and then contracts. And then you will see the signed contract here. So you can download this if you want to as well. And again, this is under subscriptions in the contracts tab. Will Stora be offering a pop-up note that appears as soon as you go into a contact? Very useful if you need to be aware of something concerning the customer. So what you can do is you can use the note feature in the customer's timeline, but in terms of a pop-up, that's not something that Stora has at the moment. But again, if this is something that you want to see, then submit it as a feature request. Yeah, so before the contract, going back to Jeff's question, before the contract is signed, you wouldn't be able to see the template, but if you reach out to your customer success manager, they can show you what the template looks like. And then you can just, say what you want to change, and we'll incorporate the changes. Great. Well, if there are no other questions, I'll go ahead and end the stream, but thank you all for attending today's webinar. As I mentioned, if you want to learn more about what Stora has in store, we'd highly recommend signing up to our Stora Summit, which will be taking place in Dublin. To sign up, visit our website and you'll see a banner for Stora Summit at the very top of the page. Thank you all for your time and also for the comments. It's been very helpful and hopefully I've answered some of your questions. And if you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Bye.